Hi, good morning. I think I'm just starting hot flash. It's inevitable. As soon as I push record, I'm going to start sweating. Just so happens. So, thank you for being here. We'll try to keep story time shorter today. I'm hoping to leave for my training. It's a long walk and it's Portland, and yesterday was so beautiful and sunny, and today turned rainy. And so I'm going to give myself some extra time to walk under all the trees, find the tree-lined streets and walk under them. The neighborhoods here are just so gorgeous. They're so full of green and life and everything. So I have a hair somewhere. Gosh, I need to wait until I'm not distracted before pushing record, but that's not real life, is it? Nope. So what I was feeling this morning is this sense of spontaneity and disruption. Almost like, here it is. There it is. It's like, did I bring my cat with me? I always tease the Agador. He sheds so easily. It just flies off of him. I'm like, every time I've traveled since he's been part of my life, the last 12 years, every time I've traveled a lot. I'm like, oh, look, more of Agador gets to stay in this hotel or this Airbnb or this conference room. I've deposited his DNA all over the world. Okay, so anyway, spontaneity and disruption. I don't know why that came to me this morning. I have a sense, but it's I want to see if that shows up in the reading. I think that's fun to feel into it, what is here right now, and then see what the cards are saying, if it's even remotely congruent with the feeling. And of course I can make the connections, but I just want to see if they naturally arise. So anyway, thank you for being here. And I guess before I get too far into it, the reading, what I was really feeling is when there's disruption, it kind of entices us, asks of us to bring in some spontaneity, because it's usually, okay, the disruption means something old is falling away intentionally or unintentionally, and there's no map of where we're going or what's going to emerge in its place. So it kind of requires of us, asks of us, entices us into this place of spontaneity, kind of embodying that. And that word is kind of loaded, but to me, what embodying means is getting out of the mind, trying to predict what's next or how to be or how to navigate something that has never happened in your life before. And it may have similar themes or flavors or sense of something that's come before, but in that, naturally, everything that happens in this world is different in some even small measure. And even the smallest amount of spontaneity can be brought in to really just flow into the next thing, versus this is hard. You know what I mean? So, and there's something that happens in the body, just has this natural wisdom in how to reorganize around disruption. We introduce disruption all the time, again, unintentionally or intentionally. And then the body, the organism knows, oh, we got to make these adjustments, dial these knobs, shed this, bring in this, whatever, in order to maintain homeostasis. I mean, that's science. So anyway, let's get into it. Let's see what's really here. That's just maybe some curious thoughts I've been having. Is yeah, spontaneity is what the body does best. Man, we are thrivers. We are survivors and thrivers because of spontaneity. Okay, we have the King of Wands challenged by the King of Cups, you guys. Oh. And the overall energy, the Ace of Cups. I don't know about you, but right away, we've got two kings that massive massive masculine energy. And again, not male, female, you know what I mean. By now, I hope there's like two, you can think of the world in so many frameworks, so many spectrums. I bet what I'm going toward now is like the masculine and feminine. The masculine has like a very firm vision, very direct, very logical, very like take things by the horns or reins or all of those things, taking things, take. And then the feminine is very like receptive, receiving. And not one is not more powerful or weak than the other, right? They have these are just qualities, has nothing to do with strength or weakness. Just want to put that out there. So when we get all this king energy right out of the gate, it's like, whoa, something feels like it has, like it's the biggest manifestation of something, like it's matured to a point. There's like a maturity when you've traversed your whole life to get to the place of the king. You're sitting on a throne, you have your people looking to you for decision making, and you have an idea of what needs to be done. You're not always listening to your people. The feminine receives is the listening aspect, like taking in and then informing an action. And the king has more of this outward push energy. Like, I already come with what I want to do and how I want to do it, and I'm gonna enact it. So for some reason, right away, even in the up, there's like the king energy. There's something about, is the king spontaneous? They don't improvise so well, do they? Sometimes they do. Like, it depends. But this King of Wands, the King of Wands right here in the upright is like this energy of, it's almost like impatience. That's the energy. The King of Wands, there's some sort of impatience here. Oh man, I wonder if that's what's being disrupted, is like when there's disruption energy, it's like, but I'm not being allowed to do the thing in the same way that I've always done, and in this way that I've always done it. And this new, that feeling is not jiving with like this transition period. So the world, something's asking of me to show up differently. And the King of Wands has the ability to show up differently, but there's this impatience and there's this like fire energy that can like whoosh, you like erupt really quickly. So it's like, do you get impatient? Is it frustrating? I think about the King of Wands having sort of like this frustration energy sometimes, and that can come with disruption. Like usually it comes with disruption. Like, hey, somebody moved my cheese. So it's challenged by the King of Cups. This is what's being asked of us. This, okay, let's settle that expectation energy that says, this is the way it's always been. This is the way I want to show up. This is the way I want to do things. But something's not letting me. The new world, I don't seem to fit in the new world, that sort of vibe. So it's like, I have to change. I can make this hard on myself, or I can make it easy on myself. That's the key. The King of Cups is saying, hey, why don't you just be more flowy? There is a lot of spontaneity here in this king, because he has the ability to stay upright on his throne. He's not tossing away all of that, the divine masculine energy of like getting shit done and knowing how to do it and having a vision. He's doing it though from the bottom up, not the top down. He's doing it through heart-led energy, compassion. He does have this ability to take in and enact. And that's how he has the balance of floating in his heavy, heavy throne, his matured structure that he's built on uncertain waters. Look how wavy these waters are. And he's just like, yeah, I'm flowing. I'm not giving up my confidence or maturity or vision and the ability to enact that vision, I'm flowing. So that's speaking in like the big energetic terms, but boil it down, like bring it into your life. Where do you feel this like frustration energy that can erupt into this like little toddler behavior? It feels like being a toddler, like I just don't like this. And you can burn up in that. That's wand energy. It's like, watch out. Like there's a tipping point and then you're like all consumed and you've got to pedal your way back somehow. The King of Cups is like, okay, bring it. And I love this juxtaposition of this perpendicularness of the fire and the water. Something's calling us into balancing the elements of like, yeah. The Ace of Cups being the overall energy is the message. It says, open the heart, let it flow, lead with the feeling. How does something feel? Spend time with it. I heard a wonderful phrase that's coming back to me today. I wrote it down in my little phrase collector notebook. And it said, water will always find a container. It flows and flows and flows. And it's like always seeking containment, because that's where its power lives. Is like sometimes it flows into a narrow channel, like this sort of river formation. It gets narrow and long, and like pipes in a house, like water can, it's contained and in a direction. It's going to flow faster there when it's not all out here, just like, oh yeah, like a lake or a pond. Even the ocean, the still waters run deep. Top of the ocean might look like this, but the bottom is like, oh, it's so giant. There's so much calm energy in an ocean under the surface. So anyway, that's kind of like describing water, and it fascinated me yesterday. It's like water will always find a container. It does, or it evaporates. If there's not enough, it'll evaporate. But it always like this, like it's like in a container. It's not spilled out. Its usefulness is in containment. It's used, and I feel like that's the message here, like to contain the waters and point them in the direction so that you don't burn up. Like they can be put to use to temper a fire. Mix those analogies, metaphors how you want. You know what made me so happy the other day? Oh my God. You know how I'm always saying, like, maybe you don't, but I'm always saying like analogy, metaphor. I don't even know the difference. And I still haven't Googled it yet. Well, this really good writer, and he talks to a lot of writers. He said the other day in a podcast, and I was like, holy shit. He was even saying it. He's like, he said the word analogy, and then he said metaphor, and he's like, I don't even know the difference. And I'm like, yay. I like a legit, like, writer, life, that's his vocation. Admitted he didn't know the difference between analogy and metaphor. Now I want to Google it. Again, I won't. Okay, so this idea and spontaneity feeds right into this, because like water is spontaneous. It can be. It can also be very conforming. Like we said, it finds the container. It's like searching, like my power comes with containment. Like I can, otherwise I'm like, where am I going? So what is it like? Do you feel like you need a container? I've thought, I'm getting the chills. Like the idea of like within a container, I can totally be spontaneous. Without a container, too many options. Like the mind reels in like trying to figure shit out. Like I've got to bring it in. Like that, give me a container to flow within, and I can flow. I can be spontaneous. Things can happen. Where do you feel like that you're being called into that in your life? What situation's happening where you're like, oh my God, the landscape's too huge. Something got disrupted. My borders got decimated, like container. Like I no longer know this is what I can exist within and feel confident and feel like me. And something's shifting in your life. Like maybe it's like something has run its course and something's naturally falling away. Like that idea of like something's just unintentionally happening to make way for something else, or something was intentionally introduced to shake things up. And it's like the sediment on the lake walls, right, has eroded, and now the water is spilling out onto the land, and you're like, oh shit, I don't know where I'm going, but I know like if I lose myself in this, I will literally lose myself and evaporate. Like I need a container. Does that paint the vibes enough? Because I mean, I've thought about it a lot for myself being like a double water sign. Holy shit, I have a lot of water. I need a container. This is a whole separate podcast, but I believe there's some part of me, I don't get all woo-woo with astrology, but some parts are fascinating. Some parts are fascinating. Let's leave that blooper in. You know I don't edit these. It all stays in. So anyway, I want to do another video about this because it's like maybe I'll dedicate some dedication to my husband, because he's such a good container for me. I never felt contained until I met him. And people talk about that, the feminine, masculine, going back to that, like the feminine power can be expressed through some containment, whether she builds it herself or she finds it in a partner, finds it in a city, finds it, whatever your container is, like whoosh, like that's where the power comes in. You know, and I felt that in my life. I was all over the place, searching, like, oh, no, that's not it. I'm just going everywhere. Oh. And then something about our relationship, I'm like, whoosh, he's a very contained, grounding force. And guess what? He's an earth sign. He's like the most practical, Virgo. Yeah. Very like, what little I know, I'm like, oh, that's him to a T. And I love it, because it's like, that's why I feel like at such a deep level we work. So do with that what you will. Just painting more vibes, more picture for you to see where this might apply in your life. Containment spawns spontaneity. I might call it SPAWNANIETY. I can't spell without writing. But we'll merge the word spawn and spontaneity, and we just made a new word, y'all. I'm going to try to remember to put that in the description. Or the title. Oh, I love when a good title comes in. Okay, let's wrap. Oh, we got to check the time. Okay, I have a little bit of time before I have to walk. Let's go. Where are we going from here? What are we doing with this containment and spontaneity energy and not burning up in our frustration that we don't know where we're going? We don't know what's next. When I said like the landscape's open, like nothing's there, this is the card I thought of in my mind. 3 of Wands. I love that so much. Page of Pentacles. Oh gosh, you guys. Queen of Wands. There's our divine feminine. So we've got the Kings. There is a lesson in the Kings, and we're not throwing the Kings out with the bathwater. Like I said, it's not all one way or another. Nothing's good, bad, strong, or weak. So when we have, I don't know, yesterday I did a reading and I said, oh, it's backwards. No, it's just backwards for me. My phone was smart enough to flip it. So 1, 2, 3. I'm just going to hold these up while we talk. So the 3 of Wands is like, oh God, I'm looking out at that landscape and I don't know what's next. We talked about that. This is that energy. And look, he's holding on to the fire. He's got enough of the fire to be motivated, to be curious. There is spontaneity energy there, and he's holding on to it, saying like, and it's not a he, she thing, but this guy is depicted as male, but it's like, okay, I've learned enough. Like I'm meant to go out there. I'm meant to go to there. I'm being called. I've already been called out of my comfort zone, and now I'm standing on the precipice of like, I can do this, and I'm curious about how to do it. Like how. The the point is, he's holding on to the fire that's still lit within him. But he's not holding all of them. He's just holding the one. So he knows like too much fire can burn him up. And he's trying, it's like he's out there letting the frustration energy, the ability to like get all consumed in this and just frustration energy. He's letting that like, okay, that's not going to serve me in the path forward. Well, what is? Okay. So then we have the Page of Pentacles. This is the card of a grounded, it's like a message. Pages are messengers. So like I said, there's a call. Both of these are messenger energy. Like you are hearing the call. Something is calling you. What is it? Tell me. Like you feel like there's no coincidence that you fell on this reading today. This is a message for you. I'm being called out there, and this is a messenger doing the one calling and saying, okay, here's the way forward. It starts with, look, he's holding up. He's so curious. And look at his funny hat. He's like got a little whimsy. Pages are very like youthful energy. So there's something calling you into that youthfulness where it's like, I don't have to have a map. Do kids have maps? Do they say, wait, how did this other kid play with this toy? And let me go consult that kid about how they tackled, like, how did they start playing with Legos? Like, I could build anything. Do I go ask the kid, like, show me how to build anything? No, they just start putting shit together and they're like, oh my God, yeah, look at this. It's kind of like that spontaneity of play. There's a youthfulness that's the energy being called for, asked of us, right? And the Pentacles is very grounded. So I'm glad we talked about that, because this is calling us out of too much fire and out of too much water. And the ground is the container. So it's like, this is saying, wherever you're going to flow in order to build that power behind it, it's going to be very grounded. It might look practical. It's fueled by inspiration and curiosity and youthfulness, but it can be very practical, like the both and. Don't throw all these babies out with the bathwater. So the Queen of Wands, what's coming? We're shifting all of the king energy. Like there's a massive amount of masculine energy at the start of this. Where are we going? We're through this grounded, curious exploration, spontaneity. We are stepping into our belief in self. So what's building here, I have to put this down to itch my nose. So this is the card of what power is going to emerge through, like, yeah, let's bring in this idea of containment. Let's not make our landscape too big where I'm like, endless possibilities. Containment brings options. It brings real options, like doable, feelable, like still inspired. But it brings like, oh, now I can kind of see what my options are here, right? I know we're talking big energetic terms, but you apply this to your life. Are you navigating a situation where you're considering a lot of different options and you're like, it's overwhelming. They're all good and they're all bad, in their own ways. So it's like, how do I navigate this? Well, there's a certain trust and optimism. So there's like trusting trusting yourself. The answer. We all have our own answers all the time. Always. Somewhere in here. If we listen. Oh God, we're going back to listening. She is the divine feminine. She's considered like the witch of tarot. She has this magic about her. Her magic comes from her belief in herself. There are maybe some things to work through. Self-worth, low self-worth issues, doubt. Doubt is a huge thing to overcome with her. So in order to step into her self-worth and confidence, I would say she's even more authentically confident than these guys, the kings, because it comes from the inside. The kings need outside approval sometimes. They're like, okay, I was put in power. Yeah, they voted me in. She's like, mother effer, I don't need a vote. I'm in power. You could describe it like that if you want. I'm tickled. So anyway, again, just more vibes for you. There's just like such a beauty when I see people like really turn a corner into self-trust. And I see it in my practice all the time. It's just like, for example, here's the thing. Sometimes a big shift will happen in our energy work, trauma work, even freaking massage, even basic bitch massage. People, this woman, even, oh my God, this woman, even last week, she was suffering from such an intense migraine that when she walked through the door, a new client, I was just like, are you sure you even want to do this right now? Like, what do you feel like you really need right now? And she's like, no, I really need this. And I'm like, okay, we're going to take it slow, communicate, let me know too much, not enough pressure. Like, we're not going to overdo this. Well, at the end, I'm sitting waiting for her to come out. She comes out and she's like hugging me with tears in her eyes because the relief she felt. And I was just like, it's like, I love when people just have relief, like to reduce suffering in the world. It just gets me every time to be a part of that. But I'm like, you did that. Like, your body knew what to do. And I try to always explain this to new clients. Like, we had a container. You came in with like some sort of like purpose. We didn't know how it was going to look. We had no idea how it was going to look. But it was under the umbrella of massage. But it could have looked like anything. There's a trillion different kinds of massage and styles and vibes and whatever. So then the treatment room is a container. The intentions we're setting are containers. But her body did the work, right? We just introduced different tools. These were tools. Yeah, I'm healing that tool. But like, and then in the trauma healing work, that's especially like to let people know, like, your body knew how to reorganize around disruption. Like, there was something disrupting a natural process. Again, going into the container with all those elements, a little bit of hope and trust and belief that I can be well at some point. Feel that, and like going in with that purpose and intention in a container, and then what the body can do, it is magic. It is totally magic. And there's this belief that exists in each of us. There's trust. And so whatever you're navigating, just know your body is so much wiser than this brain. So the more we can silence, there aren't any sword energy here, so I'm not going to go too deep into that, swords being mind, but there is like fire energy where it's like, notice how she's holding a wand. She is fire, and queens are water. She is the baby. She's like, if these two, I don't even want to say baby, she's bigger than that. If these two morphed into one person and then added some other elements, but that's what you would get. So it's like the tempering the fire with your water and vice versa, and bringing all that together through containment. Oh my God, this is mind-blowing. Okay, from an energetic standpoint, but what do you feel in your own life? If you want to get practical, are you, like I said, are you navigating different options? Is the landscape too big? Do you need to whittle it down somehow? Like my husband does when he's like, neither one of us want to choose what's for dinner and we don't want to cook. And then he's like, okay, I'm going to give you 3 options. Eliminate one. Oh my God. It takes all the pressure off until we get down to 2 and have to decide. And usually it's easy by then. But something about, hey, let's start with this. Just get rid of one. Go with your gut. It can be as easy as that. Now, you can still change your mind later, but you're allowing something to emerge. We are allowing something to emerge when we sort of like take the pressure off, get rid of some of that noise, create a smaller container where we can hold it and be like, oh, I still don't know, but this feels different. It's a feeling. All of this is pointing to feeling. Okay, let's go. I gotta go. I hope these breakdowns are helping in some way. I feel like it is. Okay. Oh, Two of Cups. And the Queen of Swords. You guys, we do have sword energy here, but it's a different kind, and it's another queen. This is awesome. So we have the Two of Cups being all water energy again, and there's something about, and it's coming down from like the Three of Wands and the Page of Pentacles. It's like going from 3 to 2. Oh my God. Didn't we just say that? Synchronicities. I love it. Wink at the universe. This whole like, this idea of taking the pressure off, the pressure cooker, the fire, going from a 3 to a 2, you come into stiller waters. You come into like, and look, there's something like intertwining these. There's even like a bringing togetherness in containment. There's like an umbrella over. It's like fucking why? I'm sorry for the F-bombs today. I just get so excited. The Queen of Swords coming down from the Page of Pentacles. So this is that practicality. It's tempering these. This is what the Two of Wands came down from. Sometimes I like to read it like this since we're in a practical reading. This is like, how do we get from 3 to 2 through like, okay, which one? You could even read it very literally and say, okay, pick one. And then he tosses it away. Like we literally just talked about that. So anyway, we have the Queen of Swords coming down from the Page of Pentacles and the Queen of Wands, with the Page of Pentacles here being very like logical, grounded. That does bring in not all like noise, overactive energy. It brings in discernment. That's the one word with Queen of Swords. I know you've heard me say it a million times whenever she shows up, but it really is, I feel, the epitome like of what she embodies. And it can be her power. And sometimes if it tips over, like any spectrum, if it tips too far, then she gets like analysis paralysis. So that's where it seems like we're starting, but we're coming into a sense of discernment. That whole like landscape too big, too many options, analysis paralysis. And she's like, no, honey, we didn't have swords up till now. What we're being called to do is embody, use this as a tool. Where are we being asked to discern these options? And how it's really with queens, I feel like there's a how about her, because she's like, we don't do things like kings would do them. We have our own special way. It's very intuitive. So even though she's sword energy, she has the water of a queen, which is, waters are intuitive. They intuitively know where to flow and how to flow in order to get to their container. You know what I mean? If you want to keep using that analogy. So how are we being asked to discern how to build a smaller container for what we're being asked to navigate, so that we can just like get to the point already of where we're going? And it's through intuition. Like we said before, you're not going to be using your maps because there are no predefined maps. Things got disrupted somehow. You are stepping into a heart-opening flow. Like it's all feeling. That's the overarching energy. This is funny because when I said still waters run deep, I like wanted to go, like part of me was about to go into moon energy. No joke. I know you don't have to believe me. But with the moon, I was like, oh, wait, that's not here yet. Let's not go there because I don't know if it'll come up. But we're ending with the moon. This is, I wonder what this is really telling us. If we could do some clarifications, we would, because the reason I say that is like the moon has this, like I said, let's go back to the still waters run deep. It's maybe asking us, see if this works for you, to don't pay attention. And because he's here too in the challenge position, we know we're able to stay afloat on turbulent waters. Look at him. He's on the surface. gliding smoothly. So something here is calling us into deeper waters where things are still, like where we have a place to like block out the noise that's existing on the top of my world, right? And get deep, because this is calling us into intuitive discernment. The moon is all about what are the waters, the deeper waters, trying to say. Sometimes we have to go down and excavate, explore. There's that page energy. There's curious, youthful exploration energy here. So what are we being asked to explore? It's like our deepest wisdom. Like we went back to her, the queens. But still, it's talking in very broad terms. Let's see if we can do a little clarification just to give you give us, because I'm going to use this too, give us maybe a slight, just a little more nuance with like this moon energy, because moon is major arcana. It's big. It has the ability to mean many things. The overarching, like going back to umbrella, the umbrella meaning is like, go deep. That's where truth lives, in the deepest parts of ourselves. It's like that body wisdom we were talking about. It's like the body's all like, okay, brain, when you get done, just know like I do the real work. You can just get out of the way. You don't know how homeostasis works. I do. Get out of my way. You just get in the way by like making me do silly things, that prevent homeostasis from naturally occurring. I won't go down that rabbit hole. So anyway, let's see if we can get a clarification on the moon. Queen of Cups. We've got 3 queens here now. And she's all water. Queen, water. Cups, water. Holy shit. We went from the King of Wands, which is fire and fire, and we're ending with water, water. I just love this. Oh, we've got the Page of Wands. We've got another page. It's almost, oh my God. And it's fire energy. It's like youthful fire. Oh, and then we have oh man. Okay. So I don't know if this will help, because we all have our specific situations. This is meant to say how to go about navigating my specific situation. What are the energies I can bring in or avoid? So the Page of Wands right here in the center is the youthful exploration of that fire. Like, what is it that really like lights me up? Remember when we said like this guy has his hand on the fire that keeps burning within, that says, yes, go out there. You have stuff to do in the world, and this is the one you're taking with you. This is like your purpose, your passion, your drive, the thing that gets you up in the morning, that sort of thing. The Page of Wands is the one that says that youthful energy, they're exploring that. It's like, oh, my stomach growled. So it's like, what? It's like calling us that deepest, go to your depths, go to like, I don't know, we've talked about this when you were a child, like go through your life and tease out what is the common theme in everything that's ever lit me up in life and everything that ever excited me. Did I say that right? And anything that ever excited me, like try it, just explore it, take your time, right? Just take your time. There's no hurry here. I'm not sensing any hurry. What's actually being called for is to slow down the hurry of the fire energy, because it can create a forest fire. It can do damage. Things are being tempered with water to say, slow down. Slow down, because water goes slow to find a container. Like it'll find the right container. When it finds that PVC pipe, or like in your house or a river, like it could be whitewater rapids, it's gotta take its time to feel the way of the earth. Where does the earth want me to go? And then we have the Queen of Cups on this side. This is that all water, flow, 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 flow. This is like what we're exploring is going to say, each of those things in my life had this element of flow. Where do you feel that flow coming through that common theme of like, oh, it was natural. It was natural for me to do this, to be interested in this. It was a natural inclination. And then we have the Five of Swords on the other side of this. This fives are temporary. So first of all, there's this exploration of, there's a little bit of temporary mind energy here that says it's okay to like look back, because this is a card of reflection, looking back on all the times that didn't feel good, right? So there's all the times that felt good, like flow. Also, it's okay to go back and explore the times that didn't feel good, because those are like big stop signs. Like, no, the future that I'm like, what I'm discerning going forward does not have that element. Nope. It's so there's a little bit of temporary reflective, like definitely go and look back through life and say, where did I feel flow? Those are the ones, like, write them down. Write them down. There's some magic, and don't do it on a computer. Do it with your hand. I just read a headline. I'm not going to say I read a study. I read a headline of a story about a study. Calling myself out. That they proved through you probably saw it too. I don't know what your AI algorithm does for you, but they proved through hooking up like hundreds of electrodes on the brain, however they do that, that said different, like, things light up when you write. Those same regions, black, silent, dead when you type. I don't know what that is, but believe me, when I want to be lit up, I want to be lit up. I don't want my brain to be like pitch black. So it's like, yeah, I want the parts, like, whatever this does, it does something in here. So yeah, take it seriously, this whole writing with your hand. If you can, not everybody has the ability to use their hands, but find a way to, like, maybe speaking does something similar. Like, if you have the ability of speech, speak it into the voice recorder, something different than typing if possible. So anyway, yeah, it's okay to go back and say also, what didn't feel good? Let's make that a different column that says, nope, no more. So that's the nuance we were looking for. There's still the page here to say it's got to be youthful. It's got to be curious. Youth is spontaneous. So I'm going to end it here. I've already said all the words, and I'm going to go to the class that I'm taking. And yeah, reach out with any questions or disagreements, whatever. And yeah, that's it. Thank you. Bye.